Hello and welcome to Smiling Souls. This is Stephanie Keenan Ray and Wendy T.
Hey.
So how you doing today, girl?
I'm doing so well. Summer is here.
Summer
Finally.
is here. Yes. Yep. Not
Same
in
for you?
Laura land.
Not in Laura land.
No, not yet.
Coming.
Fingers crossed soon.
Yep.
It's got to come. It's on its way.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it was that ridiculous. It was 90 degrees yesterday. It was over 90 degrees yesterday in Massachusetts. And last night was one of those nights where my feet were so hot I couldn't sleep until I went and put them in the sink in ice cold water for a little while. And then I was like, all right, now I can go to bed.
Wow.
Do you have a basement?
Yes.
Okay. Is it cement?
Yes.
Here's what I do.
You go in the basement?
I go down to the basement bare feet and I just like, that's what I do. It helps.
Yes. Yeah. And both the dogs were in the room, like panting their minds out. And I was like, go to the bathroom or the kitchen where the floor is cold. Like, what are you doing?
I take it you don't have air conditioning.
I mean, we do, but we weren't sure. We didn't turn it on yet because even in the middle of the night while I'm sitting with my feet in the sink, I was like, I could turn the AC on, but that seems stupid. It's not that bad. It's just my body is having a hard time regulating.
Yeah.
We
love
keep
it.
the windows open as long as we can because we don't like air conditioning.
Yeah, I don't like air conditioning either.
So
we only turn it on when it's an absolute, like, we know it's going to be hot for like 5 days, or my husband's a Boilermaker, so he welds in boiling tanks. So when it's hot out and then you're already going into something that averages 120 degrees, he comes home kind of grumpy sometimes. So when you know it's going to be a long one, so then we'll turn it on for like a few days and then we turn it back off because we like air. So you got your, let's see, I'll do oracle cards.
I'm all set.
Okay. So I've got mine. Mine was peace.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's Archangel Shamel.
Mm-hmm.
Peace comes from remembering that only love is real. Look past the surface of the situation and see the underlying truth that everyone involved is a child of God filled with love. By focusing upon this truth, you elicit loving behavior and solutions, even though appearances may seem otherwise. Trust that a higher wisdom is in charge. Love is the only power that exists, and its light shines away any seeming darkness. Hold the intention to look for examples of this light within yourself and others, and you'll have more light in your mind, heart, thoughts, and life. This acknowledge is the foundation of peace.
That's beautiful.
Let's see. Working with Angel. When you wish to feel more centered, calm, and peaceful, call upon Shamel. He is the angel of personal and global peace. He is very kind, loving, and sweet, and he'll invoke a pleasant feeling of excitement when he works with you. Know that Shamel sees your true qualities and loves you unconditionally.
That was beautiful.
Wow.
That seems appropriate.
It's really beautiful.
We need a little peace in the world.
Yeah. Yes. And I feel like by looking at things with the eyes of everything is love, that's just going to raise the vibration of the entire world.
Yeah.
We need.
Yes.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. My turn?
Hold on. I actually have to tell a funny story. So when Gabriel was having his mouth surgery a couple weeks ago, apparently when he was going under, so first off, the nurses and everybody are like tending to him, keeping him occupied, all the things. They quickly discover this child wants to be president because he was asking all the questions and like, how are we going to get to the OR? And they're like, we're going to wheel you in the bed. He's like, oh, it'll be like my presidential limousine. And they literally sang, they sang like a presidential song as they were wheeling him to the OR. And then apparently while he was starting to go under, they put Hail to the Chief on.
I love it. Oh my
But
gosh.
when his surgeon came to me and told me that apparently when he was starting to really go under, he just was like saying, I need a solution to create peace in the world. Can you guys help me create peace in the world? What do I do? Tell me what to do to create peace. And amazingly, this one nurse was like, well, just do little things, create love in your own community. And, like she was going on and on. So I was like, that just goes with this card, the
Yes,
peace
it
card.
does.
Like, but what 10-year-old is like, I need your help. We need world peace. Like, help me get world peace.
Oh my gosh. That's fabulous.
Yeah.
Your son, 100%. He's got an iPhone.
Yeah.
Series.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love it. Hail to the chief.
Hail to the chief. Yes. So then I was asking him how, like, what was happening when he was starting to go under, thinking he might tell me about the peace thing. And he goes, they played, and that was how I found out. They played Hail to the Chief to me. And I was like, that is so funny.
I love it. I love that he's getting prepared now.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Oh, he's been working on his campaign for years. Anytime we go anywhere and he meets strangers, he chit chats them up. And then once he knows that they're into him, he's like, so I'm going to be president in 2054. Will you vote for me? And he always gets a yes. So,
Oh my gosh, this kid.
That's fabulous.
He's going to change the world.
Oh, yeah.
I hope so.
I feel it. Oh my gosh. On that note, I feel like this is a perfect card. Encourage a welcoming heart. Be receptive to unexpected blessings. So this is the one that my angels guided me to choose. An open heart allows new energy and possibility to enter your life. This can be challenging when you aren't feeling your best, especially after a setback. Do small things to shift your energy so feelings of openness can return. Light a candle or listen to some of your favorite music. If you are able, get fresh flowers. Even better, spend time in the fresh air to clear and open your heart. Envision your heart open, willing to receive and grateful for the blessings in your life. Plan an evening to catch up with your friends. You may have disengaged from others. Sharing a time or meal filled with conversation and laughter will help you feel connected, supported, loved, and needed. Relationships with others can provide a sense of purpose, belonging, and give you something to look forward to. Socializing will help release any negative feelings you have about being alone or isolated. The pineapple is a time-honored expression of hospitality and welcoming to others. It may also symbolize bounty and graciousness and act as a token of friendship or community kindness. This card is a gentle reminder that you have caring people in your life who would love to see you. It is easy to withdraw when things aren't at their best.
That's fabulous, too.
That was awesome. I feel he's very connected. And I got really excited when I saw that card because it looks just like my baby pineapple that's growing right there.
How is that coming along?
It's doing well. It's getting big.
Ooh.
You're looking up, so it must be getting big.
Yeah, well, it's on a milk crate right next to my desk in a big vase, but I've been growing this pineapple top for at least 6 years, possibly 11, possibly 10.
Oh my God.
And it just started to fruit about a month ago, I guess. And like, it was so funny. I was dusting and all of a sudden there's a baby pineapple. And I was like, first off, where did he come from? And how did I not notice him sooner? Because I sit at this desk quite often. And then secondly, like, I actually am growing a pineapple because we had come to the conclusion that like the plant itself would grow, but we didn't think it would ever fruit because we do keep our house kind of cold for a pineapple. So
that's wild. What possessed you to do that 6 to 10 years ago?
So I went to see my best friend from childhood in Florida, and her mom, like her mom had always wanted to live in Florida, and because she can grow all the things, and so we went to visit her mom, and her mom was showing me all the plants in her yard, and she's like, and here are my pineapples. And I was like, what? And so I asked her, I said, how do you do that? And she goes, oh, when you chop the top off of a pineapple, you just put that in the dirt and it starts to grow. And I was like, it's that
Really?
simple.
Really?
I was like, really? So it was summer, it was June. So I went and did that. I came home and I was like, we're planting this. I don't care if I put it in a pot that I could take it outside during the summer and bring it in during the winter. And I was like, I don't care if it never fruits. I was like, that's just cool to have
It's
a
very cool.
pineapple. And so the fact that it's actually fruiting is amazing. And I sent her a message and she was like, that's awesome. She's like, pineapples are not that easy to grow. So, that's incredible. And so then I was joking because my mom's side of the family, her father's family is from Portugal, and like great grandfather was a pineapple grower
Oh my gosh.
in Portugal in the Azores.
You got it in your blood.
So I was like, it's in my blood.
Oh my gosh, that's fabulous.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
And just the how do I say this? The tenacity that you have and the fortitude, and that I'm not gonna throw, because how many years?
I mean, it's a perfectly good living plant. There's no reason.
How many years have you been trying to grow this?
I mean, 11 years.
Okay.
But
I would have been like, it's been a year. I'm getting rid of this thing.
he's got beautiful green leaves. He's not sick.
Okay.
I'm not going to, I will not throw a living plant away.
You're far more patient than I am, just saying.
It doesn't have to be doing things. So long as it's green and creating oxygen, we're good.
Okay. I can't wait for that thing to fully develop into a pineapple. There needs to be a celebration around that.
Well, don't ever, if you're that impatient, don't ever grow an avocado. It takes something like 7 years for it to fruit.
I don't think I ever considered.
I know. You live in Ohio. I know.
I'm in Northwest Indiana. I'm not growing anything here except corn. And there's plenty of that. Thanks.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
Okay, so we've got a poll. You've got a poll.
Card for Laura.
Yeah.
So this card jumped out of the deck for her, and it is All Is Well. I love this card. Archangel Jamil. Everything is happening exactly as it's supposed to, with hidden blessings you'll soon understand. Sometimes what appears to be a problem is actually an answered prayer in disguise. When we ask for help, heaven may dismantle the old to make room for the new. During this time of change, practice relaxation methods such as yoga, deep breathing, exercise, and meditation. Ask me to make your transition smooth and harmonious for everyone involved, and know that this change is for the better. Working with Archangel Jamil. Each archangel has a specific aura color. Jamil's is a deep eggplant purple, and when you see sparkles with deep purple light, this is a way to know that Jamil is with you. Each archangel has a particular type of crystal aligned with their energy, and Jamil's crystal is amethyst. When you wear an amethyst, you may feel even closer to Jamil's kind and loving energy.
I love that.
Yeah. Cool.
Purple seems to be the
Oh, yes.
color.
Yeah.
The color of today. I don't remember.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Pretty
mine.
close.
That's
Mine is just peace.
But it goes along with the purple. It's a nice
It
combo.
does. Complimentary.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
You have
So-
no idea, Laura, how often this happens when we all pull cards.
Yeah.
That kind of relate and look alike.
Yeah. I think that's fabulous.
Are you feeling disconnected from yourself? Like you've forgotten what makes you truly feel alive? Welcome to Wild Awake Woman, where we trade hustle for harmony and reconnect you with the woman you were always meant to be. This isn't coaching. It is sacred remembering. Through transformative experiences, soulful guidance, and embodied presence, Wild Awake Woman helps you awaken to clarity, joy, and deep self-knowing. Step out of the numbness. Come home to yourself. Visit wildawakewoman.com to begin your journey. All right. Well, should I go ahead and introduce Laura?
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay, perfect. So it is our pleasure to introduce Laura Marie to the Smiling Souls podcast. Laura is the founder of Wild Awake Woman and a passionate advocate for helping women in midlife break free from conditioned narratives and reconnect with their deepest truth. I love this. A former hustle bunny turned life embodiment guide, Laura supports women who are done chasing who they think they should be and are ready to ditch the rules, slow down, and come home to themselves. Ooh. Through transformative retreats, bespoke adventures, and equine-guided experiences, she creates space for women to reconnect with their desires, reclaim their inner knowing, and live from a place of depth, clarity, and freedom. Her mission is to offer a soulful, spacious alternative to the hustle, one that empowers women to live fully, honestly, and on their own terms. So welcome, Laura Marie.
Thank you.
Very welcome.
Thank you.
Steph, the hustle bunny thing.
Oh, dude, when I was reading her thing, first off, I read
Great.
Wide Awake Woman. And
Great.
and for some reason my brain immediately was thinking coffee. And then then the hustle bunny I read as hustler bunny, and I was like, that's not even right, but hilarious.
It could be a whole other thing.
Yes, yes, it could. Yes, it could. My former life.
Yeah, exactly.
Topic.
So I kind of shook my head and reread it all and went, okay, now that all makes a lot more sense.
Same. I didn't recognize the Wild Awake.
Yeah.
I just read it as Wide Awake. And then as I was reading more, I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So, Laura, I guess my first question is, what does it mean? How did you get to this Wild Awake philosophy?
So, how many women do we know that are living dimmed, that are living other people's rules, that have checked off all the boxes that they thought, were down the path that was modeled for them by their parents, by educational institutions, by society in general, living a very tamed, orderly, in a box kind of life. And to be honest with you, I hit midlife, had been living that life, lost my job, which wasn't necessarily catastrophic, but what it was a catalyst. Because at 45, I was like, do I want to continue living life? Though I didn't have meaning, I didn't have fulfillment. I was good at what I did, but I thought I probably have 45 years left, and I want to live it in bliss and in joy and wild awake is basically how I wanted to live it. I wanted to live life on my terms, how I wanted. And honestly, at that point in my life, I didn't know what my values were. I had so many expectations from other people and conditioning that I had lived with that I truly didn't know who Laura was. I'd worn all the masks and I was wearing the cape and doing all those things. And it was just that losing the job was just the catalyst to make a conscious decision that it was time to find out who Laura was.
Steph, was it the card you pulled for Laura or your card that said something about heaven might dismantle?
That was mine.
It was hers.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
And my life has been dismantled more times than I can count. So that card, and I've gotten cards like that before, and I'm like,
she was like, yeah, I know.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I will say the one thing about it is, the cards are always like, you'll be okay. You're being taken care of, and that I can say 1,000% is true. I'm at a point in my life that my life's been dismantled enough in various times and areas that I know if I surrender to it, that I will get through the other side. It feels like crap and it's scary and it's not a great feeling, but when you surrender to it and allow whatever needs to happen, and you stay true, the other side is coming.
Yeah. Very cool. So I loved, you wrote about helping people make the shift from self-development to self-knowing. Like that sentence in and of itself, I freaking love it. Can you tell us more?
You bet. Yeah. I feel like self-development is overrated, that it is just another checkbox It is, that industry
Mhm.
has told us there is something wrong with us and that we need to fix it. And the solution's here, the solution's here, the solution's here. When in actuality, the solution is right here, right here. And, I went down that self-development, shiny object, like, okay, I'm feeling bad. Oh, this person's got the solution for me. I'm feeling this way. This person's got the solution for me.
Yeah.
And, for me that had gotten to 45 and checked off all the boxes in life, it started all of a sudden got the hit, got the download. How is this any different than checking off the boxes, for career and college and all of that? Now you're checking off the boxes for limiting beliefs, check, money mindset, check, all of those things. And it started to become another to-do list. It started to become another hustle. To try to get to that, whatever that end result was. And again, it was just a light bulb moment for me when it was like, that still wasn't telling me who I was. And so it's like, for me, I don't need to fix myself. I don't need to do anything better. I guess what I need to do better is know who I am better. And when I know who I am, when you know who you are, and that's the person that presents in the world, there isn't anything to fix. You understand yourself. And honestly, the limiting beliefs you have, you're never going to fix those. They'll always be there. But if you know yourself, I feel like life is a spiral, and you've got that traumatic experience or whatever, wherever that limiting belief came in the beginning. And then as the life spirals up and out and you start growing wisdom, you may hit that spot again on the spiral, but you're wider. You've got more wisdom around it. You can treat it and lean into it in a different way. So it's, to me, it's all about self-knowing.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan in the self-development thing, so I love you saying that. Like, I just feel like, like people will ask you, what are you reading? And I always I think I throw people for a loop because I do not typically read self-development books, and that's what they're looking for. They're like, what book are you reading? And it's like, I am reading a historical fiction or a biography or something completely made up because I want something fun in my life.
Yes. Exactly.
And,
exactly.
And I honestly find 90% of those things completely boring. Like, yes, I've been inspired by a few people here and there, but and it's one thing to find tools or something to help yourself, but when
I think this goes back to the self-knowing. You read those books or you follow those people or listen to those podcasts through your self-knowing, and then you get to put your take on, because I'm not saying there's not good information out there. I just don't think that you have to, buy into it hook, line, and sinker.
Yourself.
You get to decide with your own self-knowing how you want to apply that. Do you want to accept that? Do you maybe take that and spin it just a little bit because you know yourself?
Which, I just had a thought pattern here, because that exact approach is how my mother taught me to approach religion. So, like, my brain kind of went, why wouldn't you do that? Like, because that's kind of how I approach life. It's like, just...
Well, your mother was a very wise woman to give you that opportunity, because for me, growing up in the Catholic Church, my mother, it was like this. There was no, you walked that path and you did not stray off the path. So your mother was a very wise woman. And by doing that for you, it allowed you also to take that philosophy and look at all of life like that. And I will guarantee you are one of a kind. There are not a lot of women out there that have done that.
I know.
She is one of a kind in a wonderful way.
Yeah.
Thank you. But that just hit me in a really funny way. I was like, oh, wait. Okay.
You've experienced it. That's awesome.
And this whole thing that we've just explained, that you've just explained, Laura, about, not diving into self-help books. Like, I'll read it occasionally, but it's not my thing. I love biographies.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, me too.
Since I was a kid, I've
how
loved
about
them.
Alicia Keys? Have you read
I have
hers?
not
Haven't-
read
Oh,
hers yet.
you should read it. It is fabulous. It just really I'm with you on the biographies. I love documentaries as well because
Documentaries, yes.
you get to learn about people and the
Exactly.
struggle. And you know what? I learned stuff by that, you
Yeah.
know?
Mhm.
I do too.
Absolutely.
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's how she handled that
Yes,
Mhm.
exactly.
idea.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So documentaries, biographies, yes,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
jam for sure.
That is so interesting because I'm the same way, Steph. Someone will ask what I'm reading, and I'm like, I'm reading, whatever this biography is, or,
Yeah.
or this weird spiritual book, or whatever.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
funsies, and they're like, oh, have you seen Brene Brown's, who is awesome, and she's got
Yes.
Netflix. But I'm like, no, I haven't read that.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
It's just not my thing. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm in good company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So funny. And you are an equine-centered coach.
I
Tell
am.
me about this.
So when I started coaching about 8 years ago, I've been a horse crazy kid since I was 10. I've had horses. Let's see, my parents didn't know the front or the back end of a horse, but they supported me, and I bought my first horse like when I was 14, I think.
Wow.
And I've had horses off and on. Went to college, sold my horses, got really back into it in my 20s, and so I've had horses ever since. And I ride, I show at the national level, and 8 years ago when I got into coaching, my horses were just still my passion. I love them, and I rode and all of that. And about, I would say 3 years into coaching, I was randomly reading some magazine, and there was an article in there about a woman from Colorado who did equine-guided coaching. And I was like, what? Wait, what? I can do this with my horses? Because I had never been exposed to it. You mean I can connect my love of horses with my love of coaching women and really take it to the next level? So I immediately signed up for her next retreat, which was here in Colorado. And I was absolutely blown away by how those horses show. I mean, and this is me who has at that point had been around horses for 15, 20 years. And I'm watching the horses show up in a different way and being and connecting in a different way than I was used to. I mean, in my world, while I absolutely loved my horses and cared for them, they were still an end to a means. They were a means to an end. I was showing. It wasn't all about the blue ribbon. For me, it was about getting that connection and just having it all come together and having a great ride. But they still were a means to an end. They were my way of riding. And to watch this woman coach with them, and it was like, wow, this brought in a whole different way for me to look at the horse as a sentient being and as autonomous and having agency. So that started the whole process of going down that road of how do I incorporate my horses into what I do. And the thing about the horses is they are prey animals, whether they're domesticated or not. They have that nature of being a prey animal, and because of that, they are highly attuned to the energy that is in their field, because that is how they tell if something is safe or not. Unlike people, we look at something and decide, do we think that's safe? We ignore what our body tells us, and we let our mind dictate. Horses they don't have that capacity. It's like, this doesn't feel right in my gut, we're gone, we're out, we're not comfortable, and then they stop, and then they look around and go, okay, they go back and they regulate and they feel the energy has changed. So it's all about the energy. So we as people, when I bring my women into the field, they're reading that woman's energy, they're reading my energy. They're great mirrors to mirror back what's going on with us and what we're feeling. And my role is just to be that conduit to help my women see how that horse is, what's the body language that's going on, what's happening out there. The other thing that it does is it helps them get out of their head and into their body, because the next step is, how does that feel? Where are you feeling that kind of thing? And it just opens everything up. It's fabulous.
Can you share with us an example of how a horse responds differently in coaching as opposed to just riding?
So the thing about my coaching and the way that I do it, and this is what was super important for me too. So the retreat that I went to had a way of doing it. There were certain things about it that didn't connect with me in the fact that they caught the horses, they tied the horses to the fence, they chose the horse that would participate in the coaching arena. Nothing wrong with that. I just knew for me, that's not how I wanted. To me, that felt like checking off the boxes again. There was a lot of control going on. So for me, the importance is I have 4 horses that I put out in a big field, and they get agency over whether they participate or not. So if I bring a woman out there that is incongruent in her energy, they'll sense that and they won't approach. And that's great information. You know, we as people, these women will think, well, they don't like me. It's not that. They have no sense of like and don't like. What they sense is you have an incongruence. So for instance, a woman comes for her session and I ask her how she's doing and she says, I'm good. And yet she had a fight with her partner earlier that day and she's still carrying that energy with her, but she's telling me that she's good. We'll walk out to the field and the horses will disperse because she is not owning that energy. Now, if she had come to me and said, I'm feeling okay, but I had a disagreement with my partner this morning. I'm not, that's still kind of bugging me. If she owns that, there's congruence and the horses will approach and help her through that. And will offer guidance, support. They will hold what we call hold space for her. But that's where it becomes, in the writing, we're asking them to perform. We're asking them to do what we want them to do. In this instance, the way that my philosophy is, the horses get to choose. They get agency, they get autonomy, and there's so much learning just from that. Just by, it, and yes, there's observation. So we do observe with our eyes and we do process a little bit we were going to process with our mind, but my coaching to them is get out of your mind and into your body. What are you feeling in your body? Where are you feeling it? How does it feel? So it basically gets them into their 5 senses. We smell, we touch, we don't necessarily taste anything, but sometimes we do, we hear all of that. And we use all of the 5 senses as information as to what's going on.
Yeah.
So it's awesome.
I love that. That's very cool. I was really curious about that. And it makes sense when you said, if a woman comes and she says she's fine and something's happening in the background, horse is going to sense that. But when she's like, this happened and this is how I'm feeling. And then the horse can work with that.
Yeah, exactly. They'll support. They will very much support and offer support and hold space for them. It's exactly right. And the other thing about what I have found with equine-guided coaching is that it gets women to open up and really feel who they are and what's going on more than just talk therapy. Yes, we talk. Yes, we have conversations, but when a horse comes to them with no baggage, no judgment, they can show up, they can drop those masks, take off the cape and just exhale and show up as themselves. And the horses will just mirror back to them who they really are. And that is just perfect. It's an embodiment and it's absolutely profound. Much more than me spending an hour talking to them about, but you're this way, you're a wonderful woman. You've got all, those horses will mirror that back to them in nothing flat. And it just, they're able to embody it.
Yeah. It reminds me of like the programs that, younger kids with challenges, working with horses or sometimes dogs, but typically horses. Like
they're fabulous for that. Fabulous. Yeah.
Oh,
it's great.
Just gentle animals. I feel like very gentle.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at this information here and I'm wondering more about you. And you had said, let's see, where did it go? I had abandoned all along the way. The awakening became the foundation. You said something about a question. Is that all there is? You said that question cracked something open in me.
Yeah.
So tell us more about that. Oh my gosh.
So again, checking off all the boxes.
Yeah.
And then of success, of, good job, nice car, nice house, living the life. I mean, if people looked at me from the outside, they'd be like, you've got a great life. And I did have a great life. And I'd check off, but it didn't feel fulfilled or meaningful to me. So I'd check off that box and I'd go, okay, where's my feeling of fulfillment? Where's that? And I just would be, oh. And then I'd hear this, is this all there is? And I'm like, oh no, I'm just not working hard enough. I'm not doing the right things. I'm not hanging out with the right people. So I'd find some other or other box to check off. And I'd still feel that same way. And I'd still feel that same way. So when I lost my job at 45, I was like, do I still want to hear, if I continue down the path, I always say that life bucked me off, basically. And when I sat up out of the dirt, I was like, I had two trails to take. I could go to the right, continue doing what I was doing what I was good at, just find another job in it, and most likely still hear that voice. Is this all there is? Or I could take the trail to the left, completely unknown, didn't know where it was leading, but hope, potential, possibility, because I was going to be open, because I was going to try to leave the stuff that wasn't mine and wasn't serving behind. And I was going to go down that trail and hopefully leave that voice, is this all there is, behind. And so I chose that trail. It was like the awakening. It was me cracking open and going, okay, I'm going to go the hard way. Stops, starts, twists, turns. I started down a path. I was a personal trainer for 5 to 8 years, or 5 years, I guess, 5 years, and thinking that was it, because it was completely different. And someone recommended me do it because I loved to work out, and I worked out with him. He was a personal trainer. But here's what I realized after 5 years. That feeling came back. It was just another box that I had checked off, because it was a suggestion from him, not a bad suggestion, based on what he knew about me and based on what he saw externally. But I had not really sat down and gone, is this really for me? But what I did realize at the end of that, when I started realizing that, oh my gosh, here I am again, but I thought, what is it about this that I liked? What I did like is for 45 minutes, I sat with my clients and we talked about life, and they got to share, the struggles that they were going through. And we talked about that. And I'm like, well, I like that. That was a lot, those deep, meaningful conversations, because I got to know my clients really were fabulous for me. So that took me down the coaching route. So, but yeah, that was the awakening. That was the cracking. That was I had to make the decision. And it was a decision. It was a choice. It wasn't, yes, losing my job was a catalyst, but I didn't have a traumatic, I would not consider that a traumatic experience. But at that point, it allowed me to make that choice, and I made the choice. So, and it's really what it is. They always say you're one decision away of changing your whole life. And then sticking to it. That was the other thing, is obviously the path is not super easy. The path is challenging because you're going down a path you don't know. And when I went down the path, I didn't have a coach. I didn't have anyone. And I thought I was the only one. I mean, I was kind of ashamed. It's like, I had this great life. And now, I don't think it's great. How can I tell people I don't think my life is great, even though it looks great? It's not enough for me. So there was some shame involved in that. And, when I started down the path, I did it on my own, but I also met other women that were going through the same thing. So.
Wow. Steph, do you have something?
It's okay. Go ahead. I haven't fully formed it.
I'm still working on mine too. There's so much, Laura. Oh my God, there's so much. You talked about that voice. Is there something more? Yeah. Right? That's the one you heard that was the catalyst. Is there now a voice that you hear constantly?
Yeah, I think the voice I hear now is, you've got this. No matter what, you've got this. Because I made the decision to make the path, and I've stepped backwards. I've gone off the path. Life is not, we all know life is not linear. Life is like circles and stops and starts. And I think that it's like, and it's also knowing that I don't want to go back to what it was, and I'm not saying that it was a terrible life. It was not, but it wasn't. I just knew that I didn't want to go to my grave living that life like that. It wasn't fulfilling. I wanted to feel bliss, joy. I always say I want ease, grace, joy, and flow. So I look at everything through those 4 parameters. And I look at the life through those 4 parameters. Does it bring me ease, grace, joy, or flow? It has to meet at least 2. And if it
Oh, I
does,
see.
so I figure out which two that meets, and then the other two that it doesn't meet, I have to figure out, okay, if I still do this and it's only meeting 2 of the 4,
Yeah.
what can I do while I do this that will meet the other 2 so that I get all ease, grace, joy, and flow? And I don't always do that wonderfully, but that's my parameters.
That is such a different way to look at life.
Thank you.
That checklist.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's a different checklist. And I give myself grace knowing that, it doesn't have to meet. I mean, some things meet all 4, but it doesn't have to if the other 2 are met in a different way. Yeah.
Dang. Just dang. Who are the women that are drawn to you that you work with? Can you describe them?
Yeah, you bet. I think the women that are drawn to me they're not necessarily in the beginning of their journey. They've tried because when they come to me, we're going to get down and dirty. I mean, we're going to really, I'm not the person for them if I have to super hold their hand. I want them to have actually already tried some stuff because I want to know that they're willing to get down and dirty. They're willing, because I know for me in the beginning also, with the voice, is this all there is going on? I mean, I chose to ignore it, but there were times, I was like, but I'm still going to go this way. So, I need the women that are best suited for me are past that stage. And they're like, okay, I've tried things. I want to move forward. I don't know what my next steps are. I'm just kind of lost, but I'm willing to do the work. I'm really willing to step forward and do it. So those are my women. And I will tell you that most of the time they're women in midlife and that's why I talk about it, because when we hit midlife, we're lots of time. So our kids if we've had kids, they're usually leaving or out of the house. We're finally at a place where we'll look at ourselves. We spend usually the first half of our life giving to everybody else and all this external stuff. And then when life kind of changes because we don't have kids, or sometimes we lose our jobs, or sometimes we lose our spouses or whatever, we're finally at a place that we'll stop and look at ourselves and go, okay, and that was me. It's like, it's time to look at me. What can I do for me? I want to put me number one. And I think prior to that, in our 20s, we're building our career. Lots of times in 30s, we have a family, and that's all of, that's it. So then when we finally hit our 40s, it's like, okay. Yeah, I've lived my life for everybody else, but not for myself. Now, granted, I wish somebody when I was in my 20s, I knew this. I wish in my 30s I had known, that I had realized that I could live for myself and still raise a family. That in my 20s, I could live for myself and still go after my career. And maybe that's changing. I just know in my generation and in my era, that wasn't. If someone had come to me with this message, I wouldn't have listened. I would have said, yeah, I don't have time for that.
When you're ready, the message appears.
Yeah, exactly. And those are the women I want to work with, because if you're not ready, I'm not saying that you just aren't ready yet. You're still kind of trying to figure it out, and you're not ready to take that step. And that's okay. We all start there. I'm just going to help the woman that's a little bit farther along. Yeah, the women that are in the beginning need a different coach, a different focus,
Can you tell us about your audio series?
I think it's Uncovering the 5 Secrets of the Wild Awake Woman. So I have 5 areas in life that I think are super important to help us get to that wild awake state. And it's spaciousness, well-being, connection, intentional living, and the very last one, which is awesome, play and adventure. So the series is simple 5-minute audios, and I call them shower sparks because I got this idea in the shower. Where do we spend during our day? To me, the shower was the one place nobody was bothering me. I didn't have my phone hopefully I didn't have my phone in the shower with me, and you're just here. You're just, and it's where the ideas start to flow because you've given yourself space, which is the very first pillar. So the idea is you listen to this shower, you listen to what I call the shower spark, a 5-minute audio before you get in the shower. It ends with a question, with a thought-provoking question. You get in the shower with that thought-provoking question, and you just start your day like that, or anytime that you take a shower. Also included, there is a workbook and there are journaling prompts, but you don't have to do any of that. The idea is it's split up. You can do as much or as little as you want. And each audio is about each one of those pillars and how you can look at things in your life and how you can apply, that philosophy, those pillars to your life. And the other thing about it is they're micro, tiny suggestions. I'm not asking you to go from A to D. I'm asking you to pour a cup of coffee in the morning and smell it and feel it and taste it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm pointing to Steph because her philosophy is very much the same. Like, smell the essential oil you're putting.
Yes.
Like, stop and smell it.
Yes.
The
Stop and
coffee
smell
is
the
very
roses.
important too. Stopping and enjoying my cup of coffee is super important.
Yeah. Yeah. Why, just standing at the coffee maker and stopping long enough to smell it, to hear the machine working, whatever that is, as opposed to running into Starbucks. There you go.
What is this?
This is a book called Coffee Self-Talk. So I had been reading
Coffee Talk.
What is that ridiculous book?
I don't know.
Well, there's probably a lot of them.
There's a lot of them. I think I don't even own it.
Because it's a ridiculous book.
Pocket Full of Money. That's the one.
Yes.
The Happy Pocket Full of Money.
I have not read that.
I was having a hard time with it because it's all like quantum physics, but about like
Hi, Mojo.
I know he's peeking in today. How to live your best life, right?
Yeah.
And it gave me a headache every time I tried to read it. Like I just was getting angry with it. I don't like the way the guy wrote it. Like I was just challenged with it. So then Kirstine Williamson Gunn gave me this. It's Coffee Self-Talk. Literally the same message is being shared in this book, but her philosophy is, because she's kind of like me, I don't think she particularly loves journaling. So she practices her gratitude over her cup of coffee every day and thinks about like her life in 5 minutes. Like 5 minutes of gratitude and imagining the life you want to lead and manifesting that, over your cup of coffee. And also creating a ritual out of it, which again, that's one of those things, as Wendy was kind of saying, like, I love to share with people ways to have mini rituals throughout the day of self-care, so whether it's, for me, smelling my essential oils, like, because I just use a carrier oil and oils as my skin care, so I'll like take a deep breath and just appreciate that for a few seconds, even
2 seconds. It's awareness.
Makes a huge difference in your day.
Stopping long enough to be aware. And it can be 2 seconds, like you said. And I'm thinking to myself, I put essential oil. I do an oil treatment that's got lavender in it. And I'm like, I smell it after it's on, but I don't necessarily smell it in my hand and then put it on. Thank you. Thank you for that.
And then maybe think a thought of gratitude or whatever while you're doing that.
Here's the other thing.
Piling it up.
So I think this is what's really important and we're talking about is that everybody gets to decide what their ritual, what it is.
Yeah, you build
it. Everybody's gung-ho on the gratitude practice. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I have a hard time with that. Everybody's gung-ho on the journaling thing. That's a hit or miss for me. And in my, like I talk about my audio series, I have a journaling page, but you can choose to use it or not. I think that we as a society are so busy, it's the self-development, trying to grasp onto that thing that's going to make it all better for us, that we don't stop long enough and go, well, that doesn't work for me. Because society's doing it this way. How can it not? It's got to work for me. It's that checkbox. It's got to work for me. The gratitude practice got to work for me. I mean, I'm not saying all of those things have great purpose and can be very, very helpful. But if you don't resonate with it, you're trying to put a square peg in a round hole. And that's just, you get to decide. That self-knowing. You get to decide what is going to make your life better. And yes, you got to try those things because you're not going to know if they work or not if you don't try them. Yeah. So, but you get
then
to try.
there's also the trying it in the time and way that works for you. So like that's my line of it, because I have a friend who's very, very type A. So, you know, she's going to follow everything the way she's been told.
It's not me.
No, it's not. It's actually not.
I'm a recovering type A personality.
There's the hustle bunny.
So is the other one. She's she's trying to recover. But but the just like following it to the T, and
because she doesn't know herself.
Right.
She doesn't.
And when Gabriel was little, so earlier when you were talking about how like most people like typically they kind of know themselves.
Yeah.
Or they have the trauma early and or the thing that messes with them early, they've gained strength, and by middle age they're more adept. I came into this world with a knowing of who I am, and I beat to my own drum. I did my own thing. That was me, and still is. But but when Gabe was very little, I went through a phase of just feeling very off. I basically, my main purpose in life apparently was to keep this child alive and, you know, do all the things and, you know, while also doing all the other things. And it just leaves you feeling a little empty. And, you know, so that was where I hit a wall and was like, what the heck? And I didn't have my child till late 30s, so I swear to God, my hormones never came back from that. So I was a mess. Didn't quite know to what degree I was a mess for a while, and so that was where I started to be like, who am I? What am I? So I started diving into these things, and you know, type A friends like, you gotta do this thing, you gotta do the morning ritual, you gotta get up. And it's like a whole freaking half-hour process. Like, no, I have a baby.
But that just becomes a checkbox then.
Exactly. And then it's a checkbox that you're failing because you're not doing it. Exactly. And then you're like, oh, fuck. Yeah. And so I flipped it on its head. And I would do the morning ritual at bedtime. After Gabriel went to bed, after my husband went to bed, I'd make a cup of tea and sit with my dog and I'd meditate and I'd do the journal or do it in my head because I don't like to write. And, you know, all the things. But I had to be okay, or I had to figure out that for myself and not listen to what everybody else says. You know, and there's so many people that would be like, but that's not the way it's supposed to be done.
Yeah. Who says?
Who says?
Yeah.
Who says?
But that's right. And I think when we start our because it starts with self-development. That's what the journey starts at. Always is going to start there. And then eventually it flips over to, well, if you become aware, it flips over to self-knowing. And it's that all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, I don't have to do this. This is not, it's giving yourself compassion and grace and going, I don't have to do it like everybody else, but I can figure out what works for me. So for me, at my morning ritual, I have 5 or 6 things that are on a list, but I get to choose. I wake up. What does my body feel like? You know, am I going to work out really hard today? Am I not working out today in the morning? Am I going to go for a walk or whatever kind of thing? Am I going to do movement instead? Do I have the time based on when I woke up? Do I have the time to really take time and meditate and journal? I don't. Okay. But I can. So it's like, I have 5 or 6 things I'd like to do in the morning. And if I get to just one, great. If I get all 6, awesome. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. Yep.
And that's why I do like to call it a ritual and not a routine, because in my brain,
that's why I call them too.
My brain, the routine went back to professional being in the office. You know, I mean, it just became a checkbox like we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
So
yeah.
We get to do life how we want. Although it takes us a long time to really realize that we can. And there are some people that never realize that. They're too afraid. And I mean, you know, we've been conditioned big time.
Been conditioned. Oh my gosh. Fuck that.
Yeah.
And that's why we're here, is to tell people to like
So, but I am curious, and I'd be curious to see what you ladies think about this. Do you think, and I don't know because I have no one in the younger generation anymore. My girls are 30 and 39, 33 and 39.
Yeah.
Do you think that the 20-year-olds today maybe have a different perspective? Maybe are more open, and maybe are, and okay, so I'm going to say maybe are more open to putting themselves first. And then the caveat that I'm going to say is, are they doing that too much because people want to give them a bad rap. Is it really a bad rap, or are they doing it differently than, we did? I mean, it's just a conversation question that
yes, and I think and I can't pinpoint exactly what, there are the, so I certainly know some of the 20-year-olds that are, lean more into caring for themselves, putting themselves first, but not necessarily at the detriment of like a proper corporate career.
Okay.
A couple of them are pretty hardcore, like business people. And in all honesty, I'm like, you don't have to give them that much of your life.
Right.
But
here's the deal. You can do both. If it's in, they have to decide, but you can be ambitious, but not have it take over your entire life.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the thing. And I read that somewhere the other day, and I'm like, oh yeah, you can be, because I think that we also have made ambition kind of a dirty word, kind of a bad word, but it's like, because it's like, no, it's all about self-care, and don't let your job take your life. But it's like, it's okay to be ambitious. It is okay.
Well, I think it's more than that, because it's one thing to be ambitious. It's another thing to be chained to a desk.
Yeah, agreed. Yes. And that's where you have to be able to have that distinction. You can be ambitious, but don't have to chain yourself to a desk.
And it's another thing to be ambitious and burn yourself out.
Yes.
Even if you're not ambitious or whatever, if you're just in this perfection prison, which I was for 50 years, right?
Yeah.
I burned myself out.
Yeah.
Everything had to be perfect. So I think that's the tipping point.
I do find it interesting. I feel like the younger generations are more in touch with themselves as far as how they're feeling, what's going on.
That's what I believe.
100%.
Understanding if they have, any sort of mental challenges going on. Whereas I think other generations just persevered through and went, whatever.
Oh my God, Gen X,
right?
You just pushed right through.
You never told anybody. You put the mask on. You wore the cape. Nobody knew. Nobody knew.
Nobody knew.
20-year-olds, I love that about them, though.
Yeah.
They say, "Oh, I'm feeling whatever."
Yeah.
And this is how I desire to be treated. At least that's the 20-somethings in my life. And I'm like, go you.
Yeah. So my daughter at 33, it's so funny. Will, obviously being with her, watching her grow up, she'll operate in a certain situation in a certain way. And I kind of I can feel myself because it's old programming. She's showing up how she needs to show up. But to me, it's like, oh, this feels just a little harsh, or a little, because of my programming shows up and is like, no, that I can't do. No, you're doing it like that. I don't say anything to her, but that's the programming that runs through my head. So, it's been interesting to watch her keep my mouth shut, not say anything, and allow her to do that, and just see. And sometimes it has backfired on her, and those are the lessons. But sometimes it's like, I'm like, wow, okay, that was an okay thing to do. That did work, kind of thing. It's interesting. It's just interesting.
It is interesting. I think it's the other, the and or the but that I feel is, and I think it's hard for our generation to understand how to go forward with it or how to navigate it, is, first off, these children have grown up in a world where all these celebrity people who do nothing hit celebrity TikToking or
and it's all
whatever,
we didn't have
they think that they can just make money
being on TikTok.
dancing or TikToking or just existing or having a YouTube channel and getting the sponsors or whatever. And clearly
Possible.
people are doing it. I guess it's possible, but is that like your lifelong goal or your end game that you're going for? Because, you know, even my 10-year-old's kind of like, he's in that mode of like, I'm going to be a billionaire and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, and we just have to like.
Social media has changed the climate big time.
Hell, we didn't have social media.
And it's opened, I mean, it obviously has opened up opportunities. However, it's still just as hard. It's still just as challenging and requires just as much work to become the TikTok billionaire. Or, I mean, that's not happening overnight, although we think it is. That's what it looks like. It looks like what's happened. Nobody, you know, they're not talking about the 15-year slog it took to get to that point. And the fact that it just, they were lucky. It just happened to hit right at the right time, you know, kind of thing. I mean, I'm not saying there's not skill and strategy involved, but there is some just downright luck. Just like hit the right time at the right, you know, right spot at the right time. And it was like, oh, now they're an overnight sensation when they're really not. But
they're really not,
they just hit the right thing. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's just that part I think is interesting because I feel like there's a lot of kids that are just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna become a star on YouTube.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I'm gonna become an influencer or whatever that is.
And they don't have an answer for what the thing is.
Yeah.
So
well, and the interesting thing with 20-year-olds, 20-ish, right? That generation. Wow. The art of conversation does not exist.
Yeah.
Very minimally, right? Because they're on their phones. They're on their devices. They're not.
That's how they communicate.
They're not talking face to face.
So weird.
And if they do, it's super awkward for them. You can just tell. It's like,
can I just sit here with my phone and talk to you through my phone while we're talking face to face?
That's happened.
I know.
It's like, it is sitting right there. Why are you texting me?
Yes. It'll be interesting to see where that goes. But yeah, that's how society is. I mean, that's how we're evolving. So, but I am interested to see. I think things evolve to a point and then they go backwards. And then it's like, oh, no, this. And I'm trying to think. I had thought of something the other day that was that, and I don't have a good example of it. But well, how about when we were all Zoom meeting and nothing was in person. Now I understand that COVID obviously brought that, you know, into the forefront, but I think here we are, 5 years after, and people are now craving to be back in person again. And I know for me personally, if I have calls with people or connection calls, I like to do them on the phone. I don't want to be on a Zoom screen. I understand the importance of being on a Zoom screen and you get to see someone and that kind of thing. But for me, being on the phone and I can walk the house or walk in the, I don't know. It's just, I prefer having phone calls these days.
Yeah.
I mean, and obviously there are things that need to be on Zoom and I'm available for that. But if I can do a phone call, I'd rather have a phone call. It just I don't know what it is about it, but
it works for you, and that's what
it does. Yeah, and that's my thing. And there are a lot of people that would go, "What, phone call? No." But yeah. And it's funny because my connection calls are phone calls, and so I ask for their phone number, and then I will get people that are be like, "Well, where's my Zoom link?" We're not doing it. So I've had to be very like, "Hey, this is."
I'm one of those people.
That's okay. Yeah. I don't know. Well, that's because that's what we're used to. That's what everybody does, and I'm like, I'm not going to do what everybody does. It's going to be a phone call. So here we go.
Oh, I love it.
My takeaway is you do you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Find out who you are and then do that.
Yeah. And Steph, I think you are a perfect example of doing it from day one. I mean, I think so many, I mean, you are not the norm, I would say. No. So kudos to you.
I know that. I know
for doing that. Yeah, that's awesome. But that's awesome.
Thank you.
Because the rest of us are trying to catch up.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Well,
but I would also
many
say,
lifetimes of work.
Yes. Well, and I would say that because you were that way from the very beginning, you had other challenges that you had to deal with that we didn't have to deal with because we towed the line. You did not. That brings different challenges.
Yeah. There always is.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, this has been a great conversation and lots of fun.
Really has.
I know.
Lots of fun.
I kind of can't believe that we've already passed almost an hour mark.
That's awesome.
Yeah, this has been amazing. Thank you, Laura.
You're
Thank you
welcome. Thank you for coming and having a meaningful conversation. These are my favorite. I love to share, and I love to hear others' opinions, and we get to just riff on it. It's awesome.
Yeah. And so is there anything that you want people to know about, or something that they should go to check out? Because, you know, we have links that we'll put in the show notes, but is there anything specific that you wanted to share?
You know, if you really want to know about Wild Awake Woman, just check out the website, and that's going to take you, it's at www.wildawakewoman.com. It's going to take you to all the things that I do. You can download the audio series. So it's just a great place to really get to know who I am and what I stand for and how I show up.
Yeah, I do love the audio things. We're going to have to download those.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, have a great day. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.